Now presenting Mr. Mike Coyne, Governor's Hurricane Conference Board member representing the National Weather Service.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our next award is the Tropical Meteorology Award. It's presented to an individual or organization that has made outstanding or substantial contributions to the advancement and knowledge, application, or understanding of the hurricane forecasting and warning process in the state of Florida. Since 2004, Mr. Mike Boylan has been educating people about trends, model runs, and everything else tropical weather related through his website. He does not forecast, but his dedication and contributions to the citizens of Florida and providing tropical weather information in layman's terms, helping to explain what the forecast trends mean and how to follow all the extensive maps, charts, and graphs located on his website, Mike's weather page, aka spaghettymodels.com. The 2021 Tropical Meteorology Award goes to Mike Boylan of Mike's weather page.
Just click on Mike's page, jump on the nation. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand. Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide.
All right, what's up, everybody? Morning. Checking out footage from last year, almost 1 year ago. Almost 1 year ago. That was Hurricane Beryl. And that was in Texas. Those are my my videos from that storm. It was quite eventful, to say the least, for Cat 1. So there you go. All right, we got some stuff to talk about. Oh, I didn't do my countdown. That's strike 2. I've already messed up one thing today. One-man band here. It's kind of tough. Hot today. Yes, Connie. Oh, here's my boy Louie. We took him to the ball field yesterday. He was so excited. He was like, I get to go. I get to go. Hey, cool, Amy. We couldn't take Hunter with us because Hunter did not do good outside at all. 2 times I had to put a Benadryl, you know where, with my pinky. That's all you need to know. We're going to talk about weather here in a little bit. This is our daily brew. And we're glad you're here. A lot of new folks getting on social and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, X, and our MWPchat.com. All our big supporters over there. See you, Richard. See you, James over there. What's up? Got you those softball highlights. I know you like them. She did good yesterday. This is old Louie. Funny story real quick. I shared a nice gift our good friend Brandy sent last week for Hunter. Some nice glasses that say Hunter on them. Well, check out what's in it. This is Hunter. It's an ice cube mold that Shelly got us. And Louie likes ice cubes. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? I don't want to give him one of these, Julie. That would be weird. It's like you look at his little brother. He used to like doing that. But anyway, Shelly got me these cool little ice cubes that'll go in our awesome little glasses for Hunter. So that was an awesome story this morning. It said it was delivered last week. Julie ordered something similar and opened it, thought it was hers, because it was similar, and it wasn't what she ordered, but she thought they messed up, and she kept them. Didn't tell me about them. And then Shelly's telling me today, I said you got them, and then I'm like, where'd they go? And then Julie had a light bulb go off. Her light bulb went off in her head. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, yeah. So that was that. That was that. I had a picture yesterday, since we're going to talk about ABC. We'll say hello real quick to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. My buddy Sean and I were talking. Hey, Louis looking right at that picture. That's your sister. So I'm going to start a tradition, new tradition. First invest of every year, I'll wear my ABC Fine Wine and Spirits Hawaiian shirt. I got 3 compliments at Chili's last night about it. I like your shirt. There you go. I had Sarah help me color just a little bit. She doesn't like to color. I colored. But there you go. That was last night. If you're wondering the goofy shenanigans about that and what that was all about. Anyway, hey, I also want to do a quick hello to my friends at Fox Weather. When I was looking for Shelly's gift, I saw another box out there. They sent me a shirt. Look at that. Talk about being official. I even have a Fox Weather phone protection baggie. But what's really cool is I got a nice letter here. And they said, joining us, great to connect. Hope we can work together soon. Cool. So we're going to be doing more with them. No politics. It's just weather. You're all excited. You think that's something for you? So anyway, that was pretty cool. All right, so we're going to say hi for a few minutes. Then we're going to go into the weather. We got Invest 90, nothing to worry about. Somebody already said, oh boy, you must be excited. I'm excited. If you don't follow me, I get excited about everything. Even dandelions. Had no idea there was a dandelion. I was in Minnesota, obviously. We'll talk about that. I got some video to show you. What were they doing this morning, Shelly? For what? Oh, who was that? Over what? Was it what fired that mean message? I didn't even say anything to anybody. What? The Invest? Anyway, so let's say hi for a few minutes, and then we'll go right into things. KRG over there, KRJ, Daytona Beach. Marianne up there, Tallahassee. Hey, we're heading to Tallahassee this weekend for some softball action. We'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. We'll be live Monday next week, but then we're going on a little vacay on the Margaritaville. One last hurrah this summer before we get into school and hopefully not a very bad hurricane season. Deborah, what's up? Good morning. Pamela, good morning. Thank you, Jeffrey. That was really nice, buddy. Thank you, Jeffrey, over there on YouTube. Knoxville, what's up? B. Butcher. Morning, Cape Coral. Hey, did y'all see the dueling water spouts? So I was at Chili's last night. I got my text from my good friends from Roy's up there at Steenhatch. He posted that picture, and I wasn't on social. I'd been on social 24/7 for 5 days straight. Kept the phone off and went to bed. I missed the dual water spouts, so I posted it this morning. Turn away from the internet for 1 minute, and you miss everything. One of these days, I'm going to see one. We're at the end of our little daily brew show here. I'm going to go and look at the radar from yesterday, and we're going to try to digest what actually made that water spout happen together, because I want to recreate that and be there when the next one happens. Oh, my phone just came back on. That's good news. Port St. Lucie, Kimberly, good morning. What's up there, Mike Rudd? Any relation to Ricky Rudd, NASCAR driver? Yeah, Marianne, I was following my buddy Dennis. Katrina from Hoshton, Georgia. Where's that at? Kristen from Houston. Yeah, I was just there a year ago. Kristen, chasing barrel. That's right, Ruth. We sure will. Anywhere else? Pop-up storms, Mark Hall, Tennessee. We've got a lot of pop-up storms. And the heat. So the heat, we're going to talk about the heat. I know everybody says it's summer. Got big heat here the next couple days. We're going to show you that at the end too. I'm going to go a little bit into the tropics. We'll talk about Invest 90. You got the website back. The app's all updated. By the way, if you didn't know it, we do have an app, and people like the app. I did make sure it updated today. So when you go to Mike's Weather page on the app, you get a little button on the top that says Invest 90. You click on it, and you have some very helpful links. And if you click on spaghetti models, whatnot, and my Apple just came on. Zoom link, satellite imagery, all that fun stuff. So, there you go. Anyway, it's updated. Website's updated too. So we dusted off the tropical models yesterday. And for Invest 90. So yeah, so let me tell you, so we went to, where were we? We were up in, let me close that window out. We already talked about that. That's where I was. So we went up to Minnesota for a wedding. I was in Wisconsin 2 weeks ago for a wedding. Now we're in Minnesota. What's up with that? So totally was geeking out because of that. That was the one night. Huge storm cloud looking to the east. Massive hail signatures in it. I had some people show some pictures from there. It was more into Wisconsin, I think. That was towering, alone. Well, then the next night, they were talking about this severe derecho that was coming across. And I was following it, and I'm like, you know what? So I left the wedding about 9 o'clock, drove 3.5 hours to Fargo. And there's only one Fargo. Julie looked it up. Everybody was on my case about why I didn't say what state it was. I thought everybody knew Fargo was North Dakota, on the border of Minnesota. But anyway, so I drove there, chasing this thing, and I'm telling you what, I have never seen lightning like that. I'm living here in Florida. The clouds are so much taller, and it's jumping from cloud to cloud, and it's just taking over the whole sky, and you got bolts coming down. It's just crazy. Nothing like I've ever seen. Here's one picture I took. There's some chicken. That's just about 20 miles outside of Fargo. I don't know where that's at. Somebody knows where that's at. But look at that. I took the picture right off of the video grab, and that is a towering supercell. That was tornado warned. Lots of tornadoes that night with these storms that were out ahead of that derecho. So that was very intense. I was watching Ryan Hall. I was watching Max Velocity. I was watching Reed Timmer. They were all covering it, and I was there too. It was crazy. So that was that. And there you go. There's Invest 90. So we're going to talk about that. It is a slow start, Rich. Yep. One of the slowest starts in a long time. The average first storm is usually June 20th. So it is slow on average. For sure. All right, let me show you my little video that I did real quick, and then we'll get into Invest 90. I think I can click that right there. Boom. There we go. All right, so this was my 1 minute video. Now, you probably saw the lightning. I was trying to do a report. The lightning bolt. That's on here. And some of the winds. I was in straight line winds. And where I was at this gas station, believe it or not, it got lots of damage. There was metal flying by me. I saw a piece wrap around a car. At the end, you could see pieces of metal around trees. There was a big part of the roof on the road. There was trees down. It was pretty significant. I mean, they were saying that was 70, 80, 90, 100 mile an hour winds in that derecho. So I was in it, and it was intense. But let me show you the video here real quick. Turn it up. That was one of the massive bolts. Hey everybody, it's Mike here. Oof, man, I'm just outside of Fargo. Made it about 30 miles outside the city. They're getting intense storms at the moment. That same line is nearing me. There's a lightning. Whoa! Never seen nothing like it. That was the real reaction. there's that storm cloud, man. I didn't even know it was there, and then the lightning was going off. And here, this is when the line first came, and I was standing out there in the same little chicken right there, and I started getting pelted with sand, and you can see the sand off in the distance, like it was an eruption of sand and dust. And I had to get on the other side of the truck, and it hurt. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like nailing my then lightning there. So then I drove over to there, and I thought the dang roof was going to come off. The roof on the gas station behind me was what ended up coming off, and everything kind of went that direction, whatever. One of the pieces hit that little, whatever that place is over there. But you can just see, I mean, it was pretty intense. It was, only lasted about 3-4 minutes. And then afterward, there's the big part of the roof, and you can still see the lightning in the background. And there was actually wood attached to that. That was about 50 feet from where I was at. So yeah, it was an intense little moment. Got the experience of Northern Plains derecho and chasing tornadoes. Incredible. So that was my little trip. Hope you liked it. I can now say that I chased a tornado in the plains. Didn't see one, but I did from a distance. Anyway, so enough about that. All right, so there's your invest. So all my links are back. Go to Mike's weather page here. Check it out. There you go. Tropical Tidbits. Levi, what's up, buddy? I got links here to the satellite imagery that you can follow. Also, Zoom has an awesome page here that automatically defaults to the current location, the winds, where it's at, the history, all that good stuff. So that links, I always have a ton more links, but since this isn't named, but that's where you kind of find everything on the page, the app too, right there. So that's that. Storm products, I wonder if that was updated last night. Usually I had to see how things look, being that it's a new year. It worked. There you go. All right, so that page works. Not sure this one did. Wind analyst. No, it didn't work. So I don't know if it's because of the storm, but it mentioned it anyway. But that's where I put all that stuff. So if you're wondering, no biggie, right? Just hey, maybe they'll all be fish storms this year. Wouldn't that be something? There's a storm, Jonathan. Yeah, it was legit. I don't show a lot of emotion unless there's reason to show emotion. I'm not one to get too amped up. So, what's that, Richard? So anyway, there's that. Kentucky. Hey, Sherry, what's up? All right, there you go. Whatever. It's going off to the northeast. On the east of Bermuda. There you go. So, there you go. And I, whatever. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm ready for the comments this year. Everybody's so amped up about weather all the time, but I don't care. I just know little guys melting. We'll see at 10 o'clock, we'll see how much of the ice cube is left. This will be an experiment. Look, he kind of shakes his little butt at you. A little long ago, a couple weeks away. All right, there's that. What else we got? Here's satellite. All right, so we talk about a naked swirl. Naked. Yes, there you go. This is awesome. I'm so glad. I don't think they had this last year. I used to have to find this satellite off of another website, Cyclonics website. This is my favorite graphic of all time. This is red, green, blue infrared satellite, and what it shows you is the lower level clouds in a yellowish and the upper level clouds in white, so you can really see the spin. But what I love about it is that the upper level clouds show up very well, and this shows you shear. Wind shear, strong upper level winds you can see are kind of pushing the upper clouds away. And hard for storms to get organized around that center when your upper level winds are basically pushing all the convection away from the lower level swirls. So This one's going to have a hard, there is some storms popping here at the last second. You can see them right here. So, little bit of signs that this thing might, if we get storms around the center, they'll name it. Every news channel will say breaking news. Half the folks out there won't have any idea because they haven't been watching. They're going to get panicky. But we could see a little convection popping here around the center, which would give it a name briefly, Andrea. So there you go. That's what it looks like. So I mentioned tropical tidbits. There's your spaghetti models. We share those a lot. That's all the different computer models and where they think the storm's going to go. That's the Azores. So there you go. We also have intensity plots, whatever, Old frontal lines spin up. Usually this happens more in May. There you go. Also got Weather Nerds, weathernerds.org. We share a lot of Matt's stuff. He has a lot of good ensemble plots with GFS and Euros. So there you go. We'll be showing a lot of those this season. There's your 15-day tropics map. Now, it kind of was showing this idea, but we weren't going to talk about it much. We're obviously focused about people that get impacted and Caribbean, towards Yucatan, Belize, Gulf, East Coast. So right now, 15 days out, still showing nothing. A lot of activity in the Pacific. We already got Flossie. Did they name Flossie yet? Did you all floss your teeth today? Flossie? Nope, no Flossie yet. Was it red? Yeah, it's red. 70%. So it looks like we're going to have Flossie. Flossie. Is that a name? Does anybody know a Flossie? Has anybody met anybody named Flossie? And if you're curious about it, you can always go to one of these links up here, go to Tropical Tidbits, and look at current storms, and that's an Invest. Maybe it's not an Invest yet. It's not. So it's not an Invest yet. Okay, well, no spaghetti models yet. That, but right now, whatever. So, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's look real quick. All right, let's look. Whatever. Let's see. Let's see where it's going. Looks like it's going to skirt the coast and maybe bring a little weather. This one not going to curve up. This doesn't have the flow of turning up into Mexico like Eric did. So far this one looks like it's not going to do anything. Just kind of hug the coast. I don't know. This one kind of has it going to the Baja there. So we'll just keep an eye on Flossie. I don't cover East Pacific that much, so sorry. But it's not even an Invest yet, so they're just predicting. So, we'll keep an eye on it. What about that? Heat. Let's talk about the heat. All right, here's your GFS ensembles. So the GFS is always a little more aggressive. Again, this time of year, because of Beryl last year, we get a lot of waves. Matter of fact, looking at the juice out here now, these waves, if one of these were to sneak a little to the north, that big old high flow that we've been seeing, helping cool the waters a little bit too. But this flow will, maybe lift or an old front line that we just saw way out here in the middle Atlantic. But the main development region here is pretty quiet. That strong high, though, let's take a look at the winds. Let's go to 850 here, just kind of give you a lower level wind map there. And you can just see the strong winds across the Atlantic here and just kind of wrapping up around towards the Midwest upper plains, creating more storms again today up that way. There's our little spinner out there by Bermuda. You can see it. Cute little guy, right? Little spinner. See it? Little spin. Here, winds from the north, winds from the south, kind of like our intertropics convergence zone, kind of spun it up a little bit right there. But, nothing cooking. June and July. Showing quiet. We really do not even have a true ITCZ line right now. There's so much wind shear out here. Normally these winds are a little more like that, and these winds are usually sometimes even more like that. So that's just a lot of wind, man, coming across, a little higher than normal. And that's cool in the water. If you look at the Tropical Tidbits, has got some water maps here, anomaly maps, and you can see currently that. Let me put it in a big window here. These blues are cooler than normal, 30-year normal, 81 to 2010. But on average, the waters are just cooler, and that's because of the winds. A lot of discussion about a La Nina pattern here in the lower Atlantic that historically sometimes produces a little bit more activity in the Atlantic. So that's a little something I'm going to do some research on. But there is a lot of chatter, if you're into that, about a lower Atlantic La Nina setting up. And history shows when we have that, we have a little more increased Atlantic season. That's why the numbers are high, or one of the reasons that they're high. But again, we had a major Category 4 in the Pacific, earliest on record by 2.5 months. And it was the farthest east landing storm for Mexico ever for a major. So it was farther to the east, and the waters over there are pretty much normal to cooler than normal. So the water temp is not everything. It's a lot of things. Wind shear, dust. So don't think that just because the water is a degree or two cooler than normal, we can't have a bad storm pop up. I'm not seeing that, but Eric's prime example that the waters really weren't that much warmer in the Pacific at all, but yet it was 2.5 months earlier than any major in the Pacific since 1950. Maybe before 1950, but since 1950, there hasn't been a major hurricane out there until 2.5 months from now. So that was really early, and the water temps obviously didn't hold it back. So, but we don't have anything now. Not hyping, just letting you know, water temps aren't everything. Water temps expected to be warm as we get into summer months. That wind's expected to slow down, and that'll bring the water temps up quick, just by indications here of the middle Atlantic. So that water is warm underneath, just waiting to settle down to reach the surface. These are sea surface temps. So this is an indicator that it's pretty hot. We've seen storms come across this high. Florence was one, Dorian was one, Andrew, Gene, Francis, all these storms lifted above the Caribbean. And so, again, I'm not putting out the pom-poms yet that we're not going to have something maybe to watch. So, anyway, little tidbits here and there. Speaking of tidbits, tropical tidbits, right? All right, let me slow down a little bit. 2004, Johnny, yep, it's all a little bit of that. Madison, I like that little lip thing there. Flossie had a nickname, S. Don. Cool. That was your nickname, Huckleberry? Well, you got some names, Huckleberry and Flossie. Are you from the South? Huckleberry. Thank you, Ms. Madison King. Charlie, appreciate the stars. Flossie bathing suits. Icy. There you go. Elizabeth had an aunt. Loretta Reed, no Flossie. How you doing? You had a cousin. That's right. We are up to the F name already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you believe it? All right. There you go. Let's talk about the heat a little bit. Remember, we're live tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, and not Friday because we're going to head up to Tallahassee. Emily's got a softball tournament, and we'll be back live next Monday. And then I'm off to the cruise. Woo! Hoo! So, hey, David. Good morning. All right, let's talk about the heat real quick. Here's your map showing all kinds of heat warnings, extreme heat warnings in the maroon color. Heat warnings in orange. Notice how the southeast is protected. A lot of that is the just the winds here helping cool things down with that high pressure system. A lot of storms too, keeping things kind of cool. But anyway, a lot of areas extreme heat. We know that. Here's some temperatures for today. We got hundreds all the way through Carolinas, up to Virginia, northward. Hundreds in Massachusetts, it looks like. Delaware. Nothing in Florida. Got 97 in Tallahassee. That's pretty hot. 98 in, looks like Valdosta there. It's kind of rare to see Texas cooler than the Mid-Atlantic, right? That's crazy. Now tomorrow's a little hotter too. Even more hot. These are official temperature forecasts from the National Weather Service, so we might see higher or lower, but you know, hundreds, man. We got hundreds all the way from South Carolina all the way up to possibly New Hampshire. Might see some hundreds in New Hampshire and Maine. We got 98, 99 showing. Crazy, right? A lot of folks don't have air conditioners up there, so that's why they're worried about it. That's Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, slowly starting to come down a little bit. So you kind of got the idea there. Let's take a look at the 12Z radar for today. I know we're going to have little storms popping here and there across South Florida. The flow has kind of been the same. Not a lot of rain on the Florida East Coast. The land starts brewing. Sea breeze helps engage. Storms work their way off to the west, and we get a lot of this flow up into the Gulf also. That's today. So we can see some storms later today across middle part of the state. A lot of storms pop. Maybe water spout time. I might get out there chasing water spouts. This is afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock. Not a good boat day today. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there's your flow. This is later today. This is tonight, 3, 4 o'clock here across the western parts. And so it's scattered. Here's that big line coming tonight, though. Let's take a look at that. Storm Prediction Center showing Tammy, if you're watching. I got your text. Here's the storms today. Big old line of storms expected across a lot of the plains today. A little bit of tornado chance, mainly wind. Tomorrow and Wednesday. Hey, we got a little line coming down here. What's cooking there? Ooh, let's talk about that. What's that all about? What do we have here? We have storms here on Wednesday. Oh boy. What's up with that? Maybe it's that line right there coming into the picture. All right, so there you go. Let's take a look at Wednesday. I like the Euro on Tropical Tidbits the best for radar. So let's take a look at Wednesday. It might just be, it's just actually just, look at that flow coming up though. It's actually a wave that kind of lifts up. That's interesting. Huh. A little bit of juice coming up from the tropics actually. Nothing from the north, from the south. I wonder if that's the front line backing up. No. Just increased thunderstorm activity, basically. Oh, we got some flooding chances. Here's your rain map. Here's your 5-day rains. There's that void I was talking about along the Florida southeast east coast here, just from the Atlantic winds here. A little more heavier in the south. The Everglades needs it. There's your rain, 5 days. A little more to the Gulf as this flow comes up like we've been seeing so much of. Heavy flow across with that high, the border there, the high pressure pumping up there through Mexico all the way to the Great Lakes. So that's your 5-day flow. Flooding though, look at this. We got some rain chances to worry about tomorrow. Let's see. I wanted to take a look at that on a wider scale. Let's look at Wednesday. We got some juice coming up from the south on Wednesday. Always curious on that. Oh, then we're going to look at the water spout data. So Wednesday, yeah, just increased tropical flow. Looks like the high. Let's see, back up, click here. I can get a little bigger. There we go. That tropical low kind of pushed the high over a little bit and allowed a little more moisture to come up Tuesday night into Wednesday. See that moisture popping? So the high pressure flowed, flattening out, and we get a little bit more moisture coming around north here. And you can see that across the Bahamas Wednesday up into the southeast. So interesting. Nothing, but they are saying we could have some storms on Wednesday. So yeah, I didn't even know that. I'm looking right now. Wednesday. Let's see what it says. Pocket of steep mid-level lapse rates will be in place. Southeast Carolina's favorable lapse combined with heating and moist air mass. Strong to extremely instability by afternoon. So there you go. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, cool. Hey Jay, how's it going, buddy? Tammy Harvick, good morning. Hey, I'm gonna post a picture here in a second. Hey Teresa, what's up? How you doing? We're gonna be announcing next year's cruise next week. I'm gonna be on the Margaritaville next week cruising, and we're gonna announce next year's MWP cruise on, from the ship. I wonder what that means. Anyway, so let me tell you what we got exciting coming up. So all y'all know Tammy, OSR family, been supporting me and my page for 5 years plus. They're celebrating their 10th year anniversaries, and they donated. I haven't opened all the boxes. I know the first box I opened was a Yeti. It's a wrapped Mike's Weather Page Yeti, and we're going to mail it to one lucky person. Okay? It's going to be one of them deals where you just comment. It's going to be a pet post. I don't want to say dog. I don't want to forget the cat people out there. So I'm going to have Louie next to the Yeti and have everybody post their favorite pet picture. And there will be a winner of the Yeti cooler. And we will mail it to you. A big Yeti cooler. Like the nice ones. Compliments of OSR. So I'm going to do that post here. I'm going to go watch part of the Earnhardt movie with my dad, so I'm going to post it right before I'm done doing everything else here. So it'll be up there for a little bit. Exciting, huh? Free Yeti. You got to love it. There you go. All right. A couple more hellos and we're going to say goodbye. New puppies coming soon. 2 weeks when we get off the ship. We're going to get to pick up little Longo. 105 in New Hampshire, Mary. Oh my God, I believe it. What was that? That was a weird noise. But we'll be live tomorrow again, and we'll be live on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll see what's cooking. It'll be interesting. Oh, Sahara dust. Oh, I did have that map up. I wanted to leave it on here. Here's the dry air map. Well, let's take a look at the dust. I think I had it up. I thought I had it up, but let's take a look at the dust. I think there was another round coming right now. Holy cow. Oh my God. That's huge. This is the end of the week. Look at that big old plume. Look at that thing. Spinning away. It's actually pushing that moisture. So this kind of shows you that the Bermuda High and, the intertropics convergence zone, monsoonal trough line. And you can see it's lifted a little bit, and that dust is really up there. That's a lot of dust, though. That's the 25th, a couple days. But that's kind of where we're getting that moisture coming in. Now, dust inhibits large-scale tropical development, but it does not inhibit thunderstorms, isolated thunderstorms. Okay? Actually, it might even help make isolated thunderstorms bigger because the overall weather pattern is more isolated. Just like those supercells we saw with that derecho up in Minnesota, the supercells out in front were the ones producing the big tornadoes. You need some dry air around it to create the heat, the lift, the spin. So sometimes this dust actually creates some pretty big afternoon thunderstorms or morning, but that's pretty big. And then maybe another one. Holy, I don't even know what to make of that right there. It looks like somebody's sitting down with their feet propped up reading a book. You see it? So there's still a big old plume coming. Look at that. Ian, you watch it? Anybody down in the Caribbean? Look at that. That's going to be there tomorrow. Some today, so pretty much now. That's a pretty heavy plume of dust. Look at that, man. And that's because the winds are so strong down there, just pushing that along. Crazy. Look at that. It's going to make it all the way to Texas at the end of the week. Crazy. I'm glad you asked. So, hey, Jack, it's okay. We got here tomorrow. Anyway, it's a genie. Yeah. Remember old I Dream of Jeannie? I used to love that show. Well, Hunter's not looking too good. Now we just got Ice Cube. I bet you it wouldn't have lasted long outside, especially in the mid-Atlantic northward today, because that was hot. It would be interesting. So tomorrow, let's do this. Emily or Julie, listening? So we're going to see how much the ice cube melts tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll put the same ice cube and I'll put it outside, and then I'll grab it at 10 o'clock and we'll see the difference. That's a science experiment. All right, well, listen, thanks as always for watching. We'll be live tomorrow talking weather. Maybe they'll name this thing and I'll have to update everything. I always get because you know it's not going to last and it's not really affecting anybody, but you still got to update everything. So I'm not going to make a post saying breaking news, okay? There will be a lot of that. Breaking news. Everybody's going to run to the TVs and worry, and it'll end up being nothing. So anyway, all right, hey, we'll see y'all tomorrow, okay?